What if the very first Martian rocks ever brought back to Earth didn't land in Houston, but in Beijing? For decades, the United States has dominated space exploration. From Apollo to the Mars rovers, NASA has been the name most people think of when they hear space race. But today, that dominance is being challenged. And if experts are right, China might beat NASA in one of the most important space milestones of all time, bringing Mars samples back to Earth. Welcome to the new space race. And this time, the finish line isn't the moon, it's the red planet. So why does this matter? Why risk billions of dollars, complex robotics, and years of planning just to scoop up rocks? Because these rocks aren't just any rocks. They could hold the answer to one of humanity's oldest questions. Are we alone in the universe? NASA's Perseverance rover has been drilling and caching samples in Jezero crater since 2020. This site was once an ancient lake, a perfect place for microbial life to have existed. Scientists believe these rocks might contain preserved organic compounds, maybe even fossilized microbes. On Earth, in advanced labs, we could study them at atomic and molecular levels, something no rover or lander could ever do remotely. A discovery here could literally redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. But here's the problem. While the science is groundbreaking, the logistics are spiraling out of control. NASA's Mars Sample Return, or MSR mission, was supposed to be the crown jewel of planetary science. The plan sounded like a high-tech relay race. 1, a lander would fetch Perseverance's carefully stored tubes. 2, a robotic arm would transfer them into a Mars ascent vehicle. 3, that rocket would launch into orbit. 4, then a return spacecraft would capture the payload and bring it back to Earth. It's an engineering marvel, but also an administrative nightmare. Costs ballooned past $11 billion. Timelines slid further and further back. And then came the crushing blow. NASA admitted in 2024 that the mission as originally designed was simply untenable. Now, even with scaled-back alternatives, NASA is looking at returns between 2035 and 2039 if everything goes right. But there's another player in the game, and they're moving faster. China's Tianwen-3 mission is leaner, simpler, and already on schedule. Planned for launch in 2028 and a return in 2031, Tianwen-3 will use a grab-and-go approach. A lander equipped with a drill, robotic arm, and even a helicopter scout will collect about half a kilogram of Martian soil. That material will then be launched into orbit and ferried back to Earth. The target site? A flatter, safer area, less scientifically diverse than Jezero, but far easier to manage. Sound familiar? It should. This is almost exactly the playbook China used with its Chang'e 5 and Chang'e 6 lunar missions, which successfully returned samples in 2020 and 2024. China has already proven it can pull this off. In contrast, NASA is stuck with bloated costs, shrinking budgets, and a political climate threatening to slash funding by nearly 25%. If nothing changes, Beijing could return Martian rocks almost a decade before Washington. If that happens, the symbolism would be massive. Think back to 1957. The Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, and stunned the world. The US responded by creating NASA, ramping up science education, and landing on the moon just 12 years later. Could Tianwen-3 be China's Sputnik moment? Could it reshape global perceptions of leadership in space exploration? And what happens if the first announcement of possible Martian life comes from Beijing, not Washington? But here's the truth. Neither mission will answer everything. Mars is a vast, complex planet. One cache of rocks, even perfectly chosen ones, might not tell the full story. That's why for science, it's not just about who wins first. It's about both missions succeeding. Imagine NASA's carefully curated Jezero samples paired with China's grab-and-go Tianwen samples. Together, they could give us a richer, more complete picture of Mars's history and whether it was ever alive. Right now, the space race is heating up. NASA is fighting delays and politics. China is pushing forward with a clear, well-funded strategy. If the US doesn't adapt quickly, history may remember the first Martian rocks, the first possible proof of alien life, as arriving in Beijing, not Houston. But in the end, perhaps this isn't just about competition. Maybe, just maybe, the real victory will come from collaboration. Because when it comes to answering the biggest question in human history, are we alone? The answer belongs to all of us. So what do you think? Is China already winning the new space race? Or can NASA still pull off a comeback? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping our future.